First Lady Melania Trump revealed on Tuesday what she tells the Trump's 12-year-old son Barron about the dangers of drugs. "I teach him. I try to explain how drugs are dangerous and how they will mess up your head, mess up your body, and nothing positive comes of it," she said at a town hall meeting in Las Vegas on the opioid crisis. Host Eric Bolling, a former Fox News star who lost his son to an opioid overdose, asked her at what age parents should warn their kids about the dangers of drugs. "I think 8. Nowadays the children are so smart and the life is so fast and they have access to everything," she said. "We need to teach them at very early age how bad drugs are." Bolling's son Eric Jr. was a University of Colorado student who died in 2017, aged just 19, of a drug overdose. He had fentanyl and cocaine, which his father has said came from a street Xanax which he had bought. His overdose was unintended, police said. Overdose deaths from opioids have quadrupled in the last 2 decades, and combating the issue is one of the pillars of the First Lady's signature Be Best campaign. She also repeated President Donald Trump's argument that drugs are coming in from the southern border, which he has used to argue for his border wall, although she did not. "We need to make sure that no drugs are coming to our country. They are coming south through our border. They are also coming through China. They are very dangerous," she said. "We need to stop that." The First Lady then challenged the media to give the opioid crisis the same amount of coverage that you do to idle gossip or trivial stories at her town hall meeting on Tuesday. "I'd also like to take a moment to challenge the media to cover this very real issue as often as possible," she said at the International Theater at the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino. "In 2017, we lost at least 72,000 Americans to overdoses. That's 197 lost American lives per day, more than 8 lost lives per hour. I challenge the press to devote as much time to the lives lost, and the potential lives that could be saved, by dedicating the same amount of coverage that you do to idle gossip or trivial stories," she said. Melania Trump has often expressed frustration with the media's coverage of her clothing, a common complaint among First Ladies. "I wish the media would talk about more and educate more, especially the children," she said. "They do it, but I think not enough. Just for example, we are here talking about it, and I think it should be on every media, on the front page of every newspaper. I think that every person would follow," she added. The First Lady used the end of the town hall to pivot from lecturing on why the media should cover less gossip to spilling on her own work on the White House's interior decoration, disclosing that she has just renovated the bowling alley and it looks beautiful, and that she was trying to bowl more as a consequence. It is unclear which alley she was referring to. The White House itself has a single-lane bowling alley under the north portico, and the wider White House compound has a 2-lane bowling alley in the basement of the Eisenhower Executive Office Building, EOB. The north portico lane was installed by Richard Nixon, while the EOBs were transferred from the West Wing in 1955, having been first installed in what is now the Situation Room in 1947 for Harry Truman. She also told Bolling in a question-and-answer session that her family's favorite meal was maybe spaghetti. The First Lady wore a $940 Max Mara coat and Dior belt for the event. Leaving the stage, she was escorted out by Alexandra Ruffin, 37, a former Miss Ukraine whose husband Phil, 83, owns the Treasure Island Resort in Las Vegas. Ruffin co-owns the Trump Las Vegas Hotel with the president. The town hall in Las Vegas is the last stop for the First Lady and her first overnight domestic tour promoting her signature initiative. The International Theater at Westgate Las Vegas appeared to be about half full. President Donald Trump promoted the town hall with a tweet: "Our great First Lady, at FLOTUS, will be doing a live show today at 1 p.m. Pacific Time with the terrific Eric Bolling at the Westgate Vegas Resort. She's on her #BBest tour, helping address the #opioid crisis. Free admission for the first 1,500 people," he wrote. Tuesday's town hall marked the first time during the 2-day, 3-state tour where the focus will be her. She gave remarks and answered questions at town hall, unlike her previous stops where she met with students and tech officials and they did most of the talking. Conservative political commentator Eric Bolling hosted Tuesday's town hall. Bolling and Adrienne Bolling lost their son, 19-year-old Eric Chase Bolling, to an accidental opioid overdose in 2017. Westgate Resort's founder, President and CEO, David Siegel, and his wife Jackie Siegel joined the town hall meeting later to discuss their daughter Victoria Ricky Siegel, who died in 2015 from a drug overdose when she was 18. The couple spoke about their new book on her life, Victoria's Voice, Our Daughter's Dying, which to share her diary and save lives. The Siegel family gained national attention when they were featured in the 2012 documentary Queen of Versailles. Newton and the Siegels arrived to the town hall early to check out the venue. They took their seats in the front row. The Reverend Jerry Falwell Jr., the administrator of Liberty University, also attended, as did an Elvis impersonator. The First Lady's Town Hall, part of her signature Be Best initiative, was held on a stage full of local music history, the International Theater at Westgate, Las Vegas. Legendary entertainer Wayne Newton, the longtime Las Vegas star, headlined the theater from 1987 to 1993, and joined the First Lady's Town Hall meeting. Elvis Presley performed a total of 636 shows at the hotel from 1969 to 1976, with every show sold out. Since 2018, the theater has hosted Barry Manilow's residency show, The Hits Come Home. The Westgate Las Vegas was previously known as the Las Vegas Hilton, until Westgate Resorts purchased it in 2014. It was the largest in the world during the 1980s, and its 1,700-seat theater was opened with a performance by Barbra Streisand in 1969. The town hall meeting was the last event of Melania Trump's two-day, three-state tour promoting her signature Be Best campaign and its three pillars: the well-being of children, online safety, and opioid abuse. The venues combined her campaign issues with visits to organizations that have partnered with her Be Best campaign. Bolling has courted the White House on the opioid issue, which he has become a national voice on in the wake of his son's death. The First Lady met with Microsoft executives at its Innovation and Policy Center in Washington, D.C. in July. Her first stop focused on children, who she designed the Be Best campaign to benefit. At the Div School of Discovery in Tulsa, Oklahoma, on Monday, the First Lady reminded children of the importance of being kind and doing their homework. She visited with school kids who were learning about teamwork and overcoming obstacles in addition to the typical school lessons of math, science, reading, and writing. "It's a very important, teamwork," she said during a classroom visit. "It's very important to get along in groups. We always need to be kind and show love, correct," she said a group of second graders. And when one young girl noted she was not a fan of homework, the First Lady told her, "You wished you didn't have homework." "Well, everyone wished that, but it's important." She reminded the kids homework helped them get smarter. Her second stop of the day was with the tech giant Microsoft, at its main campus in Redmond, Washington, where she learned about online safety and parental controls. Dave McCarthy, the general manager of Microsoft Games, showed the First Lady the control options available for parents for their children's Xbox. He mentioned that his daughter's Xbox name has the name The Princess in it, and she'd love that he told the First Lady that. "The whole world knows," Melania Trump laughed when he gave the online moniker. She also learned about a device that allows those with disabilities to use computers and play games easier. "Children can play, everyone can play together," the First Lady said. Her Monday and Tuesday trip marked the first overnight domestic trip for Melania Trump, where the focus was on her Be Best campaign and not an event with her husband. Melania Trump has promoted her Be Best campaign in the Washington, D.C. area and on day trips, including an October trip to a children's hospital in Philadelphia. She has also made day trips to the U.S. Mexico border to visit migrant children separated from their parents under her husband's immigration policy. She also made a 4-day trip to Africa last year, her first solo overnight trip as First Lady. The Sinclair Broadcast Group announced Tuesday's Las Vegas Town Hall will stream on all its website's broadcast group stations. This is the First Lady's second town hall with Bolling on the opioid crisis. Her first was at Liberty University in Virginia on November 28, 2018. At that event, she defended her controversial red Christmas trees at the White House as fantastic and says son Barron is not on social media yet. Melania Trump was asked by Bolling about what she talks about with her 12-year-old son Barron when it comes to drug addiction. "I always tell him drugs can be very dangerous and mess up your mind and body," she said. "And to love yourself more than you love drugs." She also said her son, who was spotted carrying his mobile phone onto Air Force One when he left Mar-a-Lago with his parents at the end of his Thanksgiving break, has no social media accounts. "He doesn't have a social media yet. He's not interested in it. He's all into sports. He's a great athlete," she said. "I teach him to be responsible and treat all people with respect and kindness," she added. "That is very important to me." Melania also said she knew she would be criticized when she made anti-bullying one of her initiatives, with some critics pointing out one of the biggest offenders is her husband. President Trump often uses his Twitter account to attack his political enemies. "I knew that I would be criticized, but I would do what is right for the next generation," the First Lady said. "Sometimes you need to fight back. I'm